many fans out there who would love to sack the player. Doesn't quite happen when you spend 200 million on a few of them. Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and as we enter the final week of the January transfer window, things are hotting up. There are rumours flying about, so let's take a look at some of them. So first up, and you're very well aware, I'm sure, that Frank Lampard has been sacked as Chelsea manager. Hasn't exactly gone so well for him in the 18 months that he's been in charge. With a ridiculous amount of money spent in the summer, he had to get the best out of them. Like, you know, I'm sure there are many fans out there who would love to sack the player. Doesn't quite happen when you spend 200 million on a few of them. Anyway, the rumour is Thomas Tuchel to Chelsea. This has come from various sources. The 10 Sport talking about it in France. There's also the Telegraph in England who are also mentioning it as well. That Tuchel is going to come in. A treble with PSG domestically, and I know you're going to say, oh, it's only the French league, but whatever. A domestic treble, took them to the Champions League final, managed big egos like Neymar, like Mbappe. I'm not saying big egos like it's a bad thing, but big players who are having their head turned by big transfers. He's managed them. He's taken them to a final where PSG have never been before. He's got brilliant, obviously, communication with the likes of Werner and Havertz, from being German as well. It's a reunion with Christian Pulisic for him that he coached at Dortmund. Just everything about this is such a good move for Chelsea. There are a few other managers out there. Nagelsmann's been touted for the job. I don't think he's going to leave Leipzig halfway through the season. Max Allegri's, of course, been spoken about as well. I just think Tuchel is such a good fit for Chelsea. Lampard going is obviously a bit of a shame to his reputation and his standing at the club. I don't think that will change because he has given it his best shot. It just hasn't quite worked out. And yeah, Tuchel, honestly, bringing him in, it's a 9 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. This rumour is bang on the money. I can expect, or you guys can expect, him to be the next Chelsea manager. From here on out, I'm going to say top 4 for Chelsea. That's a big call, and I know they're far off, but that is how good I think he is as a manager. And if he gets all of their big money signings firing, they've got unbelievable players. We've seen it. No team wants to face a Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, Werner, Giroud, Abraham front line when they're all firing. That is ridiculously difficult to deal with. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I think Tuchel will come in and he will be brilliant. Next up, the second one is David Alaba to Liverpool. You're probably going to say at this point, oh Matt, didn't you do a piece the other day that David Alaba was signing for Real Madrid? Yes, I was reading Marca in Spain, and apparently Alaba had already agreed to sign for Real Madrid. That though is apparently not the case. There have been rumours coming out of Germany from Bild and from Kicker as well that Alaba hasn't signed for Real Madrid, and he hasn't rejected the offer that's on the table from Liverpool. Now, this is about £240,000 per week, more than Real Madrid were offering Alaba, which is about £204,000 per week. He hasn't said no to it. He hasn't said yes, but he hasn't said no. And you'd think in general, with the way that Liverpool's season is going, the fact that Jurgen Klopp has apparently spoken to the board and said they cannot miss out on this free transfer, especially, that Alaba would move. I mean, the thing is, at the moment, I don't think he's going to agree a move in the January transfer window. I think it looks like Liverpool and Real Madrid are the front runners, and that's really all there is to it. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I don't think it's definitely not on the table, but it's definitely not also on the table. He hasn't said no is possibly the weirdest way of describing a contract offer in the world. So yeah, technically, I guess I have to give it a 5 out of 10. Talking of big defenders from the Bundesliga, moving to the Premier League, potentially, the next one is Upamecano. This one's come from the Mirror Sport in England, who have said that if Manchester United want to buy Upamecano now, remember we're in the last week of the transfer window, which I think is a little bit unlikely, they're going to have to pay 60 million euros. This is about 16 million euros more than his release clause, which comes into effect in the summer, which is around, if you do the math correctly, around 44 million euros. So they could hold on and wait for that release clause to be activated in the summer and sign Upamecano then. But on the flip side, this will obviously bring in a load of other teams. Liverpool, again, like with Alaba, who knows what's happening there. If they sign him or they don't, are rumoured to be interested in Upamecano. Barcelona are also said to be interested. So if Manchester United want to skip ahead of the queue and not wait to battle it out with all loads of other teams, they'll have to pay 53 million. Bayern Munich's Hansi Flick is apparently also talking to him. I'm sorry, United fans, I don't think this one's going to happen. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. And also, on top of this, the reason being is that United are looking pretty decent at the moment. They could do with another centre-back. I think this one, honestly, in this last week, I'm giving it 2 out of 10. For the summer, 4 out of 10. Upamecano leaving Leipzig, it's like a 9 out of 10. I think he's going in the summer. Just specifically to Man United, it's very difficult to tell at the moment. So yeah, 2 out of 10 for now. Sorry, guys. Next up, Papu Gomez to Sevilla. Talking of leaving the club, this is like a 9, 10 out of 10. He is leaving. He had a fallout with the manager, Gianpiero Gasperini, who has also said that he wishes Papu the best. He doesn't know where he's going to go, but he wishes him the best of luck in his next career move. And the rumour is that he is moving to Sevilla. Now, I was discussing this earlier, actually, with a few of the OneFootball team here. This one makes complete sense. Like, Atalanta in Serie A are almost a surprise package. They're threatening to disrupt the stronghold that the big names, the big teams with a big history have got on Serie A. They're doing well in the Champions League. They're pulling up a few trees, some exciting players. The exact same can be said for Sevilla in La Liga. Like, they're literally on a par with Atalanta in terms of trying to disrupt the big names, the more illustrious teams in the league, playing some good football with some good attacking players. This move really makes sense to me. Financially, I have no idea whether Sevilla think it makes sense financially. This is obviously just going off of rumour. 32 years old, yes, maybe on the older side, you wouldn't be offering a multi-year deal, maybe 2 at best. But he's still definitely got something to offer. I mean, you see how crucial he was to Atalanta's run of the Champions League, not only last season, but this season as well, into the knockout rounds. And just the fact that they finished in the top 4 last 2 seasons in Serie A, he's definitely got something to offer. Sevilla might have a bit more money if they sell Youssef En-Nesyri. He's rumoured to be leaving the club. Not quite sure that's going to happen. But yeah, Papu Gomez is definitely going to leave. I think Sevilla is a great option. 6 out of 10. I'm giving it a 6. Next up, Jesse Lingard to Porto. I saw this one. I'm sorry to Portuguese, or is it Spanish speaking people. Todo Fichajes? That's probably terribly wrong. That is the newspaper that are reporting this one, that Jesse Lingard is going to be leaving Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said they might wait just to see if Lingard's going to leave the club. He's made a handful of appearances this season. He's obviously not on the first team picture, but if they're going to go further in the competitions they've got left, like the Europa League, the FA Cup as well after beating Liverpool, and the Premier League as well, they may want to hold on to him just for a bit of squad depth. Having said that, if, as reported, they're going to get offered 10 million for him, for the 28-year-old who's not playing much football at all and really isn't much used to the squad, in all honesty, that's not a bad idea. But as we've seen, English players going abroad, there are very, very few and far between. If Jesse Lingard's available for 10 million euros, if he's just available in general, even if it's for a loan, I'm sure there are a lot of Premier League clubs and a lot of clubs, in no disrespect to Portuguese football, in a bit more higher standard of league, maybe Germany and Spain as well, that would then be able to take Jesse Lingard. I don't see Porto running straight for his signature completely uncontested. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Next up, AC Milan, according to Calcio Mercato, have rejected a bid from Everton for Rafael Leao of around £30 million, 30 million euros, £26 million for Rafael Leao. This has been rejected because it's nowhere near the valuation for them, which is understandable because he's had a pretty good season at AC Milan. He's doing very good things, and who knows, eventually when Zlatan retires, he could be the main guy up front. On top of this, Everton are seeing him as a backup to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So if they get 30 million rejected, 30 million euros, there's no way they're paying more. There is no way that someone like Everton is going to pay 40, 45, 50 million, whatever AC Milan want, for a backup striker to Calvert-Lewin. That's insane. So I've given it a 1 out of 10. Get out of here with that shit rumour. 1 out of 10. Lastly but not least, Hwang Hee-chan to West Ham. Now, brilliant at Salzburg. Erling Haaland has given a glowing review of Hwang Hee-chan's ability. Moved to Leipzig, hasn't gone so well, and yet again we're talking about West Ham with another striker. Last week it was somebody else that we were talking about moving in replacement for Sebastian Haller, who went to Ajax. This one could work because he's a bit more of a David Moyes kind of forward. Works extraordinarily hard, almost Firmino-esque, gets into the channels well, really links up with other players on the pitch. I think he could actually be a good signing. The rumours come from Kicker that West Ham, who have definitely got the money, they've got the money in the first place, but they've definitely got the money after getting, I think it was about 25 million for Haller, to go ahead and buy him. He has had an injury and COVID this season with Leipzig. It all comes down to whether or not they think it's going to be worth it in the future. Because at the moment, you can make the decision he's not playing, he's not very good, let's sell him. but they've bought him from Salzburg, so whether or not they see a big part for him in the future could probably dictate whether or not he's actually going to be sold. And I think West Ham would be a rather attractive proposition for him. I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. Maybe not in January. Maybe this is a summer deal, but I think it's quite strong. I think it makes sense for both parties, for the player, for the style of football. Yeah, I'm going 6 out of 10, but you guys let me know all of your ratings for these transfer rumours down below and how you think Tuchel will do at Chelsea. Of course, you can check out everything else we've got going on OneFootball by clicking around the screen. Until next time, I will see you guys later.